Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leather Supply. The last few projects we've done, a little bit complicated. Let's do this. Let's back up, make a project for the folks that are brand new to Leathercraft. Now we're going to do a simple hair wrap. These must be popular because I see these on point of purchase displays at every tourist destination I go to. But these are simple steps and this is going to look sharp and we're going to have fun doing it. All right, so anything I use in this video, weaverleathersupply.com or check below. We've got links going to take you straight to the website. Also, if you want to know when our videos release, just click your notifications. You'll know exactly when these come out. So let's start off with a very simple pattern. We've got digital pics of our pattern. We'll look at that shortly, but what we typically do at this point is talk about what we're doing. It's going to help everything fall into place. So again, very simple pattern. The dimensions here on the main body, 6 inches by 3.5. Now I've got marks right here because we're going to drop in what's called a D with a clip. Typically, when I see these, they have what's called an open boot hook, which to me has never made sense. First off, got to be hard to lace. But secondly, I'm not sure that lace is going to stay on that open boot hook. So with our D, that lace is going to stay exactly where we put it. All right, so down the middle here, we're going to add spots. Just a simple little decoration, and I love these for so many reasons. We'll talk about that. But there we go. So basically, that's our pattern. Now, talking about the pattern itself. The first time I make a pattern, I'm going to use just inexpensive poster board. It's cheap, it's easy to mark, easy to erase. And if I'm not happy with the pattern, again, it's cheap, I toss it, get out another piece. But once I know I have a good pattern, let's transfer that over to our pattern sheeting. Makes a great pattern. I love this. Well, first off, easy to mark, easy to cut, but it's durable. Hopefully, we're going to make more than just one of these. Now, secondly, I've got 2 different colors of marks here. So right here, if I'm going to punch a hole, and we will, to set a rivet, I'm going to mark that in black. But when we're going to mark for our spots, I want to go with red because that's a mark. We're not going to punch a hole there. If we make a mistake and punch that out, spot's not going to fit in that. All right, so we've got a feel for what we're doing here. Let's step over to our digital pics. So on our main body, 6 inches by 3.5. Now we're going to come down. Let's start on our left side. We're going to come in 1/2 inch. Then we're going to give our rivet holes for our D's a 1 1/4 inch spread down to the right side where again we've got a 1/2 inch spread to the end. So in the middle here, we've got a center line right there. That's 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch. Then we're going to center that between these 2 marks. So basically 5/8 inch, 5/8 inch, 5/8 inch. Now, great part about this is a recurring pattern. We can easily make this as long or as short, or actually as wide as we want because it's simple dimensions. All right, so we've got a feel for what we're doing here. Let's step over to our main table, look at some leather. We're going to go with our cypress, and this is one of my all-time favorite leathers. First off, it's affordably priced. For us crafters, that's a big note. But it's a thicker leather, yet it remains very supple. That's going to give our hair wrap a good quality feel. We've got some beautiful colors and a gorgeous grain. Now, one good point. We've got our D's with a clip in multiple finishes. The black D with the black rivet on the black cypress. That would actually have a tactical look to it, but we're going to go with the dark tan. Now, one more point. I would like to go this route. This is our American bison. We're not going this way simply because this is a good bit more expensive than our cypress. And for those of us that are new to leather, let's go this route down the road. We'll jump over to this. All right, let's reset here, cut some leather. Now, a couple of valid points on cutting our leather. Well, first off, new blade or sharp blade every time, and we'll see exactly why here in a second. Now, like a box knife, for a number of reasons here. First off, common tool. We've probably used one. But secondly, the blades are very sharp, they're easy to replace, inexpensive, but the best part, I can retract my blade. I don't have an open blade on my table. Now, second off, right here, this is called our poundo board. It's a great cutting surface because it allows our blade to sink into the surface. Therefore, we get a very clean square cut. Now, right here, all kinds of ways we can mark leather. We can absolutely use a pen, because what we want to do is trim inside that line, the marked line. That gives us a more accurate size. But right here, we've got leather marking pens, and these are great. I can mark, but then it rubs right off. So let's mark in our pattern. Now, I'm just going to mark our corners because these are just straight lines, but simply just making this pen go a little bit further. Okay, we've got that, but before we move our pattern piece, let's go ahead and mark for our rivet holes and our spots. And we are marked. Very nice, easy enough to see. Now when we cut, we're going to use our square. Now we sell this with the non-slip tape on the back. The point there is if we're holding this down, when we cut, it is so easy for that to fade on us. But if we put that non-slip tape, I don't even have to press down, and that's going to stay exactly where we want it. So again, let's just cut right inside our marks. And new blade or sharp blade, yeah, how easy was that? And look how clean our cut is. That's what we want. Good, clean cuts on every side. Now, last step here, we don't have to go this route. We can absolutely just trim our corners like that. I'm not big on that corner. Adding a small round corner or cut is just a nice detail. But we've got what's called a corner knife. We've got these in multiple sizes. One of the best things Weaver has ever brought on. And let's use the 15 millimeter. Yeah, how easy is that? And again, just a nice professional touch. All right, let's go punch some holes. Before we punch our holes, a couple of essential Leathercraft tools and materials. This is our granite slab. This is to a leather shop what a campfire is to a campsite. We're going to use this on every project. Now right here, this is our cutting board, poly cutting board, but I prefer to cut on the poundo board we just saw, and I reserved this for punching. This will save our tools. Now when we put this directly on our marble, it's going to move around, a little bit irritating. So right here I've just got a square foot of scrap. I'm going to lay that down, then drop in my board. Yeah, right there. That's not going to move around on me. Now, when we're punching holes, first off, the classic Leathercraft tool, revolving or rotary punch. We've got multiple sizes of tubes here. Now, we're going to punch these holes for rivets. What I would like is for that hole not necessarily to be snug on the rivet, but the smaller the hole, to me, the better bite the rivet's going to get, the more durable it's going to be. Now, sometimes we can't get to a hole very deep in a panel. So what we have to go to is what's called a dry punch. Now with this, we need our punch board and we need our mallet. The 11-ounce rawhide, that is absolutely my go-to. But when we've got a hole deep in a project, yeah, does anybody catch that? We're not punching these holes, right? So let's do this. Over here, I'm going to set this to about maybe the third tube up, and let's just punch our outside holes. And there we are. Nothing difficult about that. All right, let's go drop in our spots. I love spots, and if you've seen any of my videos, that's probably not a mystery. But I love these for so many reasons. They're inexpensive, they look good on a project, and they are super easy to add. And at Weaver, we've got these in multiple sizes, finishes, and shapes. Now, we're going to go with the 1/4-inch flower spot. In fact, I'm going to hold that. Yeah, there we go. That's actually got a decoration on the cap. And we're going to go with the antique brass to match our antique brass D with a clip. Now, to set these, the easiest way to go, the Little Wonder. That is a great machine. It sets just about everything we sell. But if we're new to Leathercraft, we're not going to have one. So let's set these by hand. Not having a machine, just like sewing, not having a machine, it's not going to stop us from proceeding here. So what I've got right here is our art knife. Now, when you get this, it's got a shorter blade on it. You have to order this blade separately, but that's kind of more of a standard knife for our art knife. But what we're going to do, we need the longer blade, because we're going to push through our leather and we're going to push into a very expensive Leathercraft tool. This is just a pallet made with cardboard. So when we go through our leather, we don't ding our blade. So our first step, let's take one of our spots. Now it's going to be a little hard to see because we're going with a smaller 1/4 inch. Yeah, there we go. But right there, notice our tines, they kind of poke out a little bit. Well, that's because when we push this into a machine, into the throat on a piece of equipment, that holds it in there. But what we're going to do, let's take those and just press those in just a little bit. There we go. All right. Now, 5 steps here. So first step, let's take this and I'm going to press that into my leather. I'm going to straddle that mark. Little bit hard to see, but yeah, we can see that, okay? With our palette and our art knife, I'm going to push through. Now, the trick here is I don't want more slit than tine. So let's go through about 1/3 of the way up. I'm going to flip that around. Let's go through the other side, basically because we're trying to mimic the shape of that tine, okay? Now, on the other side, same thing. Now let's press our spot through those 2 holes. Yeah, there we go. Slides right through. We've got 2 good slits, but again, notice we don't see a lot of slit around the spot, okay? Next step, let's bend this over. All right, good. Now we've got one more step. We'll get to that, but I'm going to do the same thing for the other 3. And there we are, okay? But we've got one more step, and this is most pertinent here because we're dealing with hair. Let's take our spots and on our mallet, or on our marble, I'm just gonna tap these. Not enough to ding them, but just about that much. Good, because now I actually can't feel that tine. That's not gonna snag or grab on hair. That's what we're looking for. But again, how easy is that? And another good point, great place to make these our own. We could add some kind of a cool design with spots. So many ways we can go. All right, let's go drop in our D's with a clip. Like the other steps, just a quick rundown of what we're doing here. So we're going to go with a double cap rivet. It's the only rivet I use. I love these. Multiple finishes, and we've got 3 sizes. Now, we've got a small, a medium, and a large. Technically, 1/4 inch, 5/16, 7/16. So right here, that small is going to be perfect. That's good for 2 4 to 5 ounce back to back. The medium, 2 8 to 9 ounce standard belt weight. And then the large, typically 3 8 to 9s back to back. But here's a critical point on rivets. I don't want more than 1/8 of an inch sticking above my top grain. Here's what I'm talking about. So we've got a 4 to 5, we've got a clip there. So when I run that through, notice right there, that's about 1/8 of an inch. That's the most I want sticking above my leather. Here's what I'm talking about, just a more extreme example. Let's go with a large. All right, let's drop in. Look at that. Notice how much post I've got right there. I've probably set 100,000 rivets and I still couldn't make that work because when we set it, it's going to offset and we'll just be able to pull it apart. So it's a critical point. We want somewhat 1/8 or less rivet above top grain. So let's start here. I'm going to put in 1. So we've got our small. Let's drop in our clip with a D and then our cap. One of the things I love about the double caps, I can snap that cap down without actually setting it. That's nice because we could lay all of our D's out, put the caps on all of them, and then set them. It's quick, but when we do that, all the caps aren't popping off. Just a very irritating point. And we're going to go with a rivet setter. So right here, it's got a concaved end so we don't flatten our rivet. Now, this is part of our 4-piece setter set. Goodbye for the crafters who are new because now we can set 3 sizes of snaps, very easy to do, as well as rivets. Now, when we're setting this, we don't have to hit this as hard as we can. The harder we hit it doesn't mean the stronger it's going to be because what's going to happen is that post is going to go up into that cap and it's going to spread. That's what actually holds it together. So on this, let's make sure we've got the concaved in. That's all we need. And that rivet is well set. All right, I'm going to do the same thing 9 more times. And there we are. Actually, that looks pretty good. And the funny thing, not one step yet has been difficult. Very professional. All right, let's add some lace. We're done here. We can absolutely cut our lace from our cypress. In fact, it makes a nice lace. Now again, right here, non-slip tape on my straight edge and a sharp blade in my knife. There we go. Actually, nice piece of lace. The downside here, this is a 4 to 5. In fact, it feels a little bit heavy. That's going to be too thick, not wide, but too thick for a smaller project, larger project, something like leggings, arm guards, bodice, absolutely. But here, let's go with our latigo lace. And even if we're not into leathercraft, we've probably heard the term latigo. This is a strong but supple leather, typically used in tack and saddle. We sell this by the spool in a number of colors. In fact, I love the brown. I almost want to go with that. That's a nice contrast. But we're going to go with the medium brown. We're going to cut a piece about 36 inches, about 0.7 meters. Now, when we cut this from the spool, typically it can be just a little bit stiff. Let's do this. Let's take this and let's just stretch this out. And there we go. That's going to get us in the direction of this softening up. But with a couple of uses, that's going to soften nicely to the point where we just tug on the bottom and the whole thing closes. All right, so I'm going to use my mallet to lace around. So I'm going to come through. Let's go around to the other side. And now across and down. Across and down. There we go. I'm going to repeat that. Yeah, there we go. Well, that looks good. And again, once we use this a few times, we give that a tug, the whole thing tightens up. Good, very simple, but great place to make this our own. And one thing about this that I noticed, with this leather, it's heavy. It's got a good feel to it. To me, that means quality. I'm happy with the way this came out. Such a simple project, but so many things to say about this. Well, first off, for the folks that are new, we saw a simple pattern, we've punched holes, we've set rivets, and we've got a professional finished outcome. Not one step was difficult. You are on your way to making some gorgeous leathercraft projects. And I'll tell you this, there are thousands of them. But also, this is a typical leathercraft project. Here's what I'm talking about. We have a great time designing this. How are we going to decorate it? Then we have a great time making it. But at that point, we don't just put it on a shelf or hang it on a wall, look at it once in a while. We get to use this and wear it and love it. And when we do that, I bet we're going to get some compliments. I hope so. Good luck with your projects.